Welcome to the deep dive. So if you're anything like us, you probably have this really vivid memory.
Oh.
Yeah, from Peter Jackson's Two Towers film, you know the one, Helm's Deep.
Ah, okay.
The siege is just desperate. Things look completely hopeless.
Utter despair.
And then literally the last second, the sun starts coming up and boom, Gandalf on the ridge
Mm-hmm.
and riding right there with him, Éomer, back from exile, leading this huge charge of Rohirrim. It's just, wow.
It really is. The music swells, the dawn light. It's pure cinema. You feel that turn of the tide.
Goosebumps every time. It's totally iconic.
Absolutely. An incredibly emotional and very satisfying moment for the audience. The
Yeah.
relief, the triumph, it's powerful.
It really is palpable, isn't it? It sticks in your head.
It does.
But, and here's where it gets really interesting for me. That whole scene,
Yeah.
that iconic charge,
Yeah.
well, that's not actually how it happens in J.R.R. Tolkien's original book.
Oh, yeah, right. That's the core of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
A major, major difference.
Exactly. So our mission today in this deep dive is to look at some excerpts. Compare the film's Éomer at Helm's Deep, that charge, with what Tolkien wrote.
Okay.
We want to kind of unpack the truth behind this scene in both versions.
And explore maybe why Peter Jackson made those specific choices.
Yes. And what those choices actually mean for the story, you know, the themes.
It's fascinating because that one scene, it really does capture so many differences. Character, theme, it's all there.
How so? What's the big difference in the film's portrayal?
Well, in the film, like you said, Éomer is a banished hero.
Yeah, Wormtongue gets him kicked out.
Exactly. So his return at dawn is this huge, dramatic character arc. He was cast out, now he's back. Hope, redemption. It's a strong symbol.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. It gives him a very clear journey in the movie.
Right.
But you're saying the book is different. He wasn't exiled. He doesn't swoop in at the end.
That's the crucial thing. No, in the novel, Éomer is, well, he's central and loyal right from the get-go.
Yeah.
He's the third marshal, Aiden's nephew, a top warrior. And when the fighting at Helm's Deep starts, he's already there.
Inside the fortress.
Inside the fortress.
Yeah.
Tolkien specifically puts him on the deeping wall, leading the defense, his sword flashing.
Wow. Okay, so he's fighting alongside everyone else all night.
Exactly. He's holding the line inside. His heroism there is about steadfastness, endurance, not a dramatic last-minute return from exile.
That's a really different kind of bravery, isn't it?
It is.
Less about the grand entrance, more like just gritting your teeth and enduring through the dark.
Precisely.
Which then raises the big question, if Éomer's inside fighting, who does lead that dawn cavalry charge in the book? Because there is a charge, right?
Oh, yes, the charge is definitely there.
Yeah.
And it's spectacular. But the people involved, totally different.
So who is it?
It's Gandalf. Gandalf the White, newly returned and powerful.
Okay, Gandalf's there.
And he brings reinforcements. But they aren't Éomer's exiled riders. They're men led by Erkenbrand of Westfold.
Erkenbrand. Okay, I vaguely remember that name from the book.
Yeah, he's the Lord of the West March. The book describes Gandalf appearing on the ridge, clad in white like a pillar of light.
Ah, okay.
And behind him, Erkenbrand and 1,000 men. Gandalf had actually ridden off before the siege, saying he'd return.
Right, that cryptic line about looking to the east at dawn.
Exactly. And his arrival with Erkenbrand is what turns the tide when everything seems lost.
That is, yeah, that's a huge creative change for the film.
Massive.
So why do it? Why give Éomer that moment instead of Erkenbrand? From a story perspective.
Well, think it like a filmmaker.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty understandable choice, actually. Maybe even a powerful one.
How so?
By having Éomer banished earlier, you create that clear, satisfying arc we talked about. Return, redemption.
For a character the audience already knows.
Exactly. You're already invested in Éomer.
Yeah.
Erkenbrand. He's a fairly minor character in the grand scheme of the books. Important, but minor.
So cutting him simplifies things, keeps the focus tight.
Pretty much. It streamlines the cast.
Yeah.
And giving that huge climactic charge to Éomer, it just lands with more emotional weight for the viewer.
Right. You get to cheer for someone you recognize, someone you've been worrying about.
Yeah. It's all about maximizing that cinematic impact, that connection with the audience.
Okay, that makes total sense from a movie-making standpoint. Give the big moment to a main character.
Mm-hmm.
But it does highlight that tension, doesn't it? Adapting something faithfully versus making a really compelling film.
It absolutely does.
Mm-hmm.
And it shifts the underlying themes a bit, too.
Oh. How does it change the themes or the tone?
Well, think about the book's version. Gandalf and Erkenbrand showing up. It feels almost mythic. It ties into Tolkien's idea of providence.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, I remember Gandalf's line, "Look to my coming at first light on the 5th day. At dawn, look to the east."
Right.
His arrival is like divine intervention almost. It embodies Tolkien's concept of eucatastrophe.
Eucatastrophe, the sudden happy turn when things look bleakest.
Exactly, that certain joy breaking through despair. That's very Tolkien. And Éomer, in the book, his role is different. It's that steadfastness, fighting without hope of rescue. His heroism is just enduring.
That idea of just enduring, holding on when there's no rescue in sight, that must have felt very real to Tolkien, right? Given his own experiences.
Oh, absolutely. You can't help but feel the shadow of the First World War there. Not as a direct allegory, he always pushed back on that.
Well, he was clear about that.
But the experience informs it. Éomer's grim duty inside the deep, holding the line. That feels very grounded in that reality. Erkenbrand's arrival, then, is almost like the miracle hope that, well, many soldiers never actually got.
That adds another layer entirely. So the film gives Éomer this big, flashy Helm's Deep moment.
Right.
But if his book heroism is more about just being steadfast there, where does Tolkien show Éomer's big moments, his main triumphs?
Well, his real standout moments come later.
Especially in The Return of the King.
At the Battle of the Pelennor Fields. Exactly. When King Théoden falls, Éomer sees his sister Éowyn apparently dead too, and he just snaps. He leads the Rohirrim in this incredibly courageous, almost reckless charge.
Yeah, I remember that. Death.
Death, ride to ruin and the world's ending. It's terrifyingly powerful. He takes up the leadership mantle right there in the heat of battle. He becomes the king.
So that's his big heroic peak in the books. Leadership, courage under fire, carrying on after loss.
Yes. The films give him the dawn charge at Helm's Deep, maybe for that immediate cinematic punch. But the book arguably gives him something deeper. The dignity of loyalty before the charge, the weight of leadership after Théoden falls, and the sheer honor of enduring when rescue seemed impossible.
It's really fascinating. Knowing the book version doesn't actually lessen the film moment for me, strangely.
No, it doesn't have to. They're different mediums.
But it adds this whole other dimension to Tolkien's idea of what heroism even is.
Right.
It's not always the dramatic, last-minute save. Sometimes it's just being there, holding that line, even when you think you're going to lose.
Precisely. That unwavering loyalty, that courage when things look bleakest, that quiet resolve. It's a different flavor of heroism, but just as powerful.
So thinking about all this, what does it mean for you listening right now? When you understand these changes, these deliberate choices in adaptation, does it challenge how you think about heroism?
Good question.
Does heroism have to be that big, flashy moment? Or is there maybe a profound power in that quieter stuff? The loyalty, the steadfastness, just enduring, like Tolkien maybe intended for Éomer in the book.
It definitely raises that important question about adaptation, doesn't it? When you streamline a story, maybe simplify it for a film audience.
Yeah.
What nuances, what complex ideas might get left behind?
Yeah, and what new ideas or maybe different emphases get created instead.
It's definitely something interesting to chew on next time you revisit Middle-earth.
Whether that's on the screen or maybe diving back into the page.
Exactly. Food for thought.